Yo, what's going on, guys? Jared here. Today, I just got first place at my my pre-release event with the pure Snake Eye deck. This deck is very obnoxious to say the least. I completely, and I think like a lot of people underestimated the power spike level coming out of Phantom Nightmare, and the Snake Eyes and Princess both add a very, very high level of pressure, pushing through recurability, and it lets the old Snake Eyes cards really shine. And I think after playing a lot of decks that are not mirror matches or like full power stuff, this is looking more and more like a more tier zero competitive format where if you are not playing the Snake Eye cards in general, you might be at a disadvantage at the highest tier of competitive play. But this deck is very hard to play at the same time. I knew it was bad because I know myself that I unfortunately was not playing perfectly by any means. I'm still learning this deck. Like I said, I just picked it up, and like it still felt like that I wasn't playing it properly. I was catching myself later. I'm like, I know this wasn't the right end board. I know I could have done something differently. It's extremely difficult. But overall, like even with that, I'm still saying that the power of this deck is so high, and I didn't even play it at its full potential in my eyes. So overall, that's just my like thoughts on this. This like it's very, very strong. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say in comparison to everything else we've had in this diverse format that we've had so long. So anyway, like I said, I took first place. I got this beautiful mat, the Goblin Biker entrance promo card. But yeah, I want to show you guys what I played and kind of get a general idea of how this deck kind of like functions. So obviously we're playing the Snake Eye Ash. The 3 is the best starter that we have, and the 2 Poplar and the 1 copy of Oak. This is like the fine ratio. Some pure builds play 3 of Poplar, but this card being able to extend is just so ridiculous. I think there was like 2 or 3 times where this guy I went like normal summon Ash, it got impermed. Then it was like Bonfire for Poplar, and it's like the same thing. Like you just go and still do a full combo anyway. So that was like really dumb. And then we play the 1 copy of Jet Synchron because going into the Synchro lines are they give you like Omni Negates in a format that is looking like it's not going to have many Omni Negates. This deck can end on 2 Omni Negates, which I think is pretty solid, and it helps you play through certain hand traps as well. This being a discard in the graveyard too, to discard something like Flamberg's Dragon out of your hand is insane because this triggers from sending from hand. When this card came out, it's hilarious how cheap and bad this card was. And now that we have Poplar and Princess, it's like ridiculous how strong this card feels now. Like it feels unfair of like being like an extender, being able to push through boards, being an interruption. Like this card just does everything. The only thing when it's bad is if it's stuck in your hand. But like once it's in play, it just feels so ridiculous, and I can't like stress it enough. And then of course too, like for like engine monster wise, we have the 3 Black Witch. Like she's just it's like a free extender. It's just so good. Honestly, it's ridiculous how this deck operates. And then of course we have 3 Bonfire to search. This is like pretty obvious. 2 copies of original. I see builds play 3. I don't want to draw too many. It's not a 1-card starter. You need other stuff. I would rather be searching this or setting it with either Poplar or Black Witch. So I think 2 is fine. I just wanted it in case I didn't want to use the second effect. On the following turn, I can search the second copy and use it then. So I don't really need it. And then the second effect of this card is like so important. It's ridiculous. And like, it's why I think this deck is so strong currently, is it plays simple Yu-Gi-Oh! So like ridiculously good. Like no deck should be able to do as much and consistently and recover and make a huge board again like this deck can. Like being able to search the Ash again, to go in the Poplar again, to then be able to get to original or the field spell, to then get to Dragon and then get 2 more. Like it's so many bodies that you just get every single turn. 3 copies of Wanted for the Diabell. I'm not going to explain that. And then 1 copy of the Divine Temple. This card's really good, the Divine Temple. And the Subversion. I'm not sold on Subversion yet, but it came up once today, so it was kind of cool. But it was pretty cool. Like I don't know. I'm not like crazy about this card, but I like having the option. But Temple is so cool. Like this card allows you to play through like so many things, and going into boards too. Like a lot of decks summon as interruptions on your turn, especially like not even just a mirror match, right? things like Centurion, things like Labyrinth, like all these things summon on your turn. So like Temple turns into like an extender that can help push through things at the same time, right? And it just adds like so much more. For like one-ohs, one for one and one talents. There is a reason for one talents, not just because I don't want to draw two. That's kind of more of a bonus, but we play one talents because like to stop like hand traps, we play one call by and three cross out. And cross outing talents is like really good for when you make your board and they're playing like a board breaker version of a deck. You can just hit talents with because this is like one of their main pieces to break a board. So it's very, very strong in that regard. So I like Crossout. Crossout today was insane. Like it was really broken because this deck has so many starters, dude. It's like 3, 6, 9, like 12, 14. You can like argue some of these. Like it's and the one for like it's just so consistent. And I'm not even playing pot cards. You just don't need them. Like it's so consistent with what it can do. So yeah, like overall, I really like Crossout. This card like overperformed today, if I'm being honest. I hit like Droll a couple times, hit Ash, hit Imperm. Yeah, just really, really good. Speaking of like the cards that I'm like cross-outing, 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Impermanence, 3 copies of Droll, 2 copies of Valor, and 1 copy of Nib. I just feel like these are like the weaker hand traps right now, but I still want them just in case you get like some awkward hands that you might not be able to play around them or play through them. I would rather have the option available to me than not have it available to me. So this was overall okay. I never drew the Nib, so I can't really say if it was good or bad, but yeah, like overall this list worked like beautifully. Honestly, it was like really, really strong. I did not miss Birch at all. That card is just weird. I know it's like pretty good, but I don't think you need it if I'm being honest. Every time, even like you can look at other profiles of this deck and there's like they're talking about it, it's like, yeah, this isn't needed in a combo, but like you sometimes can use it in like these weird game. Like if a card is not coming up enough times to where you warrant it, like in whether it be in combos or even in the grind game, because this deck doesn't need it in the grind game. Your deck is already so good in the grind game. I can't warrant Birch just being an additional brick in the deck when you just don't need it. It's just completely unnecessary in my eyes. So that's it for the main deck. I really liked it. I think this was like honestly fine. I think it's going to change as the format develops. I think people are going to hand trap as the format develops. I think different hand traps are going to change as the format develops. So I think it's going to be a lot of big changes in the format just because of this deck's existence. And it might not just be this deck. It's Snake Eye anything, like Snake Eye Fire King, Pure Snake Eye. Just any of those is like just a problem. Snake Eye with Rescue Ace as well. Like any of these fire decks. But moving on to the extra deck, we for Link 4s, we had Apo, Zelantis, Raging Phoenix, and Ambo Whale. Yeah, these were just good. I made all of them. I think I made every card in the extra deck, actually. Looking at it now. Yeah, I made every card in here. And then for Link 3s, I only played Promethean Princess. You can play Selene, too. I think that's, like, also reasonable and, like, Access Code Talker, but I just didn't feel like I needed them. This deck just, like, worked fine anyway. Yeah, so this card is just ridiculous. It never goes away. It's a card that is always there. You are always summoning it, and like you're not gonna get stuck on it because you can send it away with like Ash and Oak at the same time, or not Diablo. I'm sorry, like Ash and Oak are the main ones. But yeah, it's just dumb. It's just so dumb how much this deck can push through with extenders and starters, and like how much non-engine you can play as well. This is such a spike in power. Obviously SP Little Knight and IP Masquerena for, Link 2s that like interrupt and help break boards and stuff. Honestly, the MVPs are probably the Charmers. These cards were insane all day. Just being able, like, the fact that now we're kind of going back to a way where Charmers are getting into combos again is very scary and, like, kind of toxic, right? Like, the Charmers were big in things like tier format and a couple other formats, I think Sprites as well, where Dark Charmer was, like, super, super oppressive and just, like, an insane card where you think your opponent can't do anything else and they Charmer you and they keep going. That's kind of where we're at with this deck now, right? Like, if you can, like, fart out a Dark Charmer, take your opponent's Diabell, it's like full combo. If you can, like, go Hida, take your opponent's Fire, and then go into Princess, bring back something like Flameburgs, and go into, a combo line with there, and you still have an interruption as well. It's just so much pressure that these cards apply that any two monsters have the potential to turn into, like, full combos or full interruptions or full board clears or, like, just more deck interactions in general. It's just a lot. It really is. And the last link too was Sunlight Wolf just for recurability and adding stuff back. It was fine. Nothing like too special. And then for Link 1s, it was just the Link Rebo. Again, this card is just good. Just, it's like Karibo. I'm not gonna explain it. Sky Crisis, I made it I think one time, and it was like, okay, it's fine. Like, you don't have to play this. You can play something else. But again, that's up to you. This is like kind of where you get like flex body. Some people play like Nightmare Phoenix, Celine, Access Code Talker. All those cards are like definitely playable. And then for synchros, which was Baron, Savage, and Formula. These are like like I said, these are like your Omni negates that you can make. And it's really cool because you get like draw off Formula, you can get draw off Wanted, and that's like in post game 1, right? These are like little things in a deck like this that's super competitive, where you're finding cards like your side deck cards, right? This is where you can find those tech choices that can really make an impact in the game. This is where those cards you can draw Lockbird and be and clinch it out when they're trying to push through a board. So, and then like I also I think Synchros are really cool. So that's kind of what led me to pure Snake Eye more. And like I said, I like both these cards a lot. Being able to make them sick, Savage, equipping something and then sending it away with like Oak or Ash or something. It's like just so free. Or like Diabell or Original. Like you can just get value out of everything in this deck. And it really just makes it so much better than what feels like everything else right now. It's just so much. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just a power creep. This just clearly feels like a power creep because I'm not proficient with this deck, and it just did so much. I still was able to do so much with it. For side deck, I put 3 Lancia in. Yeah, I don't know. Like Cosmic, evenly match, some Runic variants, just anything. I just wanted it in here. It's like fine. I'm not like crazy about it, but I never put it in. Oh, Flu too. I think I put it in against Flu if I remember right. But yeah, I never drew it. So Phantasme, another card. I never drew it. Again, but I know it's good this format, so it's fine. 2 Ghost Bell. Bell was for Labyrinth, and then you play it for Crossout too. It's very nice. 3 copies of Cosmic. Again, this card's just really good this format. Solemn Strike for going first. You can like Solemn Strike something like an Ash, and then it makes it way harder for them because they can't use Ash's second effect if you did something like use Hand Trap Ash on Ash, for instance. But you probably wouldn't do that anyway. But it's just good that it clears monsters. Like, it's fine. I don't think I ever drew it, if I remember correctly. Like, really, the main deck just did everything. And then I just sided 1 copy of Dimension Shifter because I wanted it for Crossout for Shifter decks. I just wanted another option to beat being Shifter, because I think this is the only hand trap, to be honest, the one hand trap that I cannot like play through or make something from of. Like every other hand trap, I really feel like I can just play through it if my hand's like just good enough. I mean, you can say about any deck, right? But like this deck is very easy. It's super easy to play through so many things, just depending on what your hand is. With like Bonfire, Original, Ash, Populous, Oak, Dragon, Wanted, Diabell, like there's so many cards, and then not even including Cross Out and Call by the Grave. So this deck just does, it's just too much. Like, if I'm being honest, it's just too many things. You have too many options. And one of the main issues, a consistent thing that I was noticing throughout the day while playing my rounds, for those who are curious about Snake Eye, was, again, when you get to these simplified type game states, the extra effects of the cards is where this deck really shines. Because there was a couple times where, like, I'm on very low cards, my opponent's on very low cards after like pushing through my board, right? And I'm like, okay, this should be very close. But in my graveyard, I have a Wanted and an Original sitting in there, or just an Original, and I'm like, okay, well, I already guaranteed, without even doing anything yet, I already can go Ash into Populous, into maybe the Field Spell, into Send 2, into Oak, and then like into Dragon, and then Dragon brings something back. Like, I don't feel like I'm having to worry about like my follow-up ever. Like, that's what you don't, I wasn't even making Sunlight Wolf that much because you just don't need to because of these spells. Like, you just have so much follow-up anyway. But yeah, that is the deck for now. This is probably going to change as the format goes on. I know this is like, obviously, this is so obviously not a budget deck that I'm usually doing on this channel, but I do play competitively, so I'll usually own the competitive deck. But unfortunately, my event schedule for this year is like pretty much basic to nothing until Nationals. So I'm just going to have this and enjoy my locals experience with it, I guess, and just go from there, I suppose, or maybe do remote duels if I can. But overall, yeah, that's the deck. It's really fun, though. That's the one thing I will say. This deck is actually really fun. I really enjoy playing it. There's a lot of moving parts. It's very skillful. So that is a plus side if you are looking to play this deck. It is extremely fun, I will say. So again, if you can, I would recommend it. It's just, I know it's a lot of money, and I don't please do not pressure yourself to buy these cards. It's ridiculous how expensive they are. But yeah, so overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the profile. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me down below. Or if you have any cool tech choices for the Snake Eye Fire stuff, I'm always open ears for them. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe if you did. And until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.